Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Drive Fitness Podcast. Just a quick reminder, if you're a big fan of the podcast, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, follow on Spotify, and support us on Patreon. My guest for today's episode is Alex Sorrell. Alex is very passionate about diet and nutrition. We talk about her fitness journey, different diet plans that she has tried over the years, and different ways that she works to improve her mental and physical health. If you want to check out her fitness account on Instagram, her username is LexFitness1. Before we get started, I have one final announcement. Our Drive Fitness merchandise is now available on our website. You can check it out at drivefitness.app/store, where we have a lot of different t-shirts, tank tops, sweatshirts, and different types of merchandise. Please check it out to support us. That would be very appreciated. All right, enjoy the episode. Let's just start off and talk a little bit about your fitness journey. Why are you passionate about fitness?
So I feel like it was my middle school journey that started it all, but it was like a very unhealthy situation I had going on. I was obsessed with calorie counting and cardio and a lot of treadmill work.
You were counting your calories in middle school?
Oh yeah. And it was like
Wow.
before apps even existed. So it would be like Googling how much calories are goldfish, and then I would put it down. But there was no like tracking fat or carbs or any of that important stuff. So it was really just based on a toxic level of obsession, counting my calories and making sure they were, I think it was like below 1,300 is what I saw in my journal the other day. I would like draw pictures of bodies that I would want. And it was clearly so unhealthy, but I mean, I feel like girls especially go through such a phase of body image issues and body confidence. And I feel like it's so much worse now, especially.
So were you diet focused or were you also workout focused?
Definitely more diet. Calorie counting was my everyday thing. And then I would run on the treadmill. Weightlifting was never a thing. HIIT workouts, didn't even know what those were. That's how I thought you were skinny in middle school. 1,300 calories and an hour on the treadmill.
So now do you think it's unhealthy for you to count your calories today? Or do you think it just kind of be less intense about it?
Well,
Why?
I feel like it definitely varies for people. It was clearly so unhealthy for me in middle school. But as I've grown, I've realized that what calories are, what they do for you, how they act in your body, where they're coming from. I mean, it depends who you are, but if you are like sensitive to having a toxic relationship with food, diet culture, and whatnot, it's definitely not something I would promote. I definitely am someone who's more intuitive eating now. You eat when you're hungry and you also know what you're eating. For example, I would eat turkey packets and on the back it would be like 30 calories for 1 ounce of turkey, but then you have no idea what the antibiotics in there are, the hormones that are involved with that. It says 30 calories, but what are those ingredients that you're even eating, which actually do so much more harm?
I've never dived into hormones and things like that. So that's something that you pay attention to in the food you eat now?
For sure.
Okay.
I don't want to say like eat clean food because like what does that mean? Just like food that's ethically sourced as much as possible. Yeah, having any added antibiotics, hormones, preservatives, that is so damaging to your body, more so than having something with 500 calories opposed to 30,
Yeah, I think it's interesting just to like know what types of things that you're even paying attention to, because I just looked at calories beforehand, right? So along with hormones, right, what are other things that you are paying attention to? Because I don't think a lot of people even take the time to pay attention to that kind of stuff.
So honestly, like I couldn't tell you what to avoid because they're usually like long names that you can't pronounce. But when they have all this added stuff on the back, like in the ingredients list, and you have no idea what it is, and maybe it's something good. I mean, I was looking at something the other day. It was like inulin, or I don't know how you pronounce it, on the back of some drink from Whole Foods. And I was like, what is this? I got like uneasy about it, but then I looked it up and it's just a prebiotic, whatever. I look for, what's added in those ingredients. Like Diet Coke is 0 calories. You read the label, 0 calories. Oh my God, amazing. 0 fat, but it also has aspartame and preservatives.
I was about to say.
So
aspartame's terrible for you, right?
It's a sweetener. Like it's a unnatural sweetener.
Okay. And so is it basically just as bad as sugar then, or is it
worse in my opinion and from what I've researched?
Pros and cons to each, maybe.
Yeah. I listened to a podcast the other day. It's this guy, he was on the Skinny Confidential, and I think his name is Dr.
Doctor. He sounds like he knows what
He's
he's
a
talking
doctor.
about.
He's a doctor. He's done over 10,000 heart surgeries, whatever, and he takes 200 vitamins a day. I mean, he's crazy. But he was saying that aspartame, which is like a fake sweetener, but it's worse than real sweeteners from what the studies will show you. And this guy was trashing whole wheat flour and whatnot because how it's made in America especially is actually so much more unhealthy. But because it says whole wheat, people tend to gravitate towards that because they're thinking, oh, this is healthier. But he was saying even with that, they don't know how that interacts with their body. He was saying that it's actually terrible for you. Really, I feel like if you're not doing the research on what you're eating ingredient-wise, the nutrition labels really don't mean anything.
So once you started paying attention to the ingredients, right, that go into your foods, what new foods did you start gravitating towards, or new brands that you were like, oh, these contain the kind of foods that I want to be putting in my body?
I make a lot of my meals myself from scratch. I mean, I definitely enjoy Chipotle and Thai food and all of that. But I definitely gravitate towards more I don't even buy organic at the grocery store. I buy just fruit that's fruit, vegetables, and then put some olive oil in there. Stick to the basics. I'm not really a huge buy a bunch of processed foods and stuff like that. So bars aren't really my thing.
I eat a lot of Cliff Bars and stuff like that. Those aren't ideal.
I don't know a lot about Cliff Bars. I just know that they pack so much in there. Obviously, I've enjoyed a Cliff Bar before. It's not like I'm going to never eat a Cliff Bar.
Okay, so get this. I know how to eat fruits and vegetables, right? But then what's an organic way for me to get my source of protein then?
If you don't have any adverse reactions to beans and legumes, those are a great way. I mean, if you're not eating meat, you said?
Oh, I'm eating meat.
Oh, well, yeah. So if you want to
But how do I know if my meat's processed, all right? I'm just going based off of what you try to do, right? When you worry about your diet, is there certain types of meat that are processed, right? If you're just going for these fruits and vegetables.
I learned this the other day, actually. When they say grass-fed on a turkey box or whatever, a burger packaging, they'll be like, oh, grass-fed burgers, great. But I didn't even know that meant that cow only had to be grass-fed for 24 hours of its lifespan.
Oh, so that's not even an ethically conscious thing. It just means that the meat you're eating the last 24 hours of its life was kind of grass-fed.
It only has to be grass-fed for 24 hours. So say they literally have the cows in the pen or whatever, they're eating hay, they're eating wheat, and all of this antibiotic hormone stuff, and then they let them out for 24 hours. Oh, now they can say grass-fed on the box. So it has to say grass-fed, grass-finished.
Interesting.
So it's definitely looking into those things. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of marketing.
So we were talking about this beforehand. You said that you were a vegan for a little point in your life, and then now you're more of a pescatarian. You only eat fish, right? So did you make that decision for ethical reasons based on the treatment of animals and concerns like that? Or was it a diet decision?
I definitely didn't do it for diet.
Okay.
So I definitely did it for ethical reasons. I mean, you get on YouTube and then you're in a dark hole of...
Yeah.
a really dark hole.
Or even Netflix documentaries, yeah.
Yeah, except Game Changers is terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't support that. That one made veganism look so bad. What
is that called? Game Changer?
Yeah, there's another one on there too.
And then what was their persuasive point?
It may have been a different one. There was this one documentary that said that 5 cigarettes is equal to feeding your child 1 egg. Or something seriously so bad, and that's why people hate vegans. Because they say dumb things like that, and it's clearly.
Oh, so from a vegan point of view, they were trying to say that 5 cigarettes are equal to an egg, right?
Yeah.
And they're kind of giving it a bad rep by not, being factual with their arguments.
Or just even saying that. They're saying they're cooking. It was literally a video of a mom cooking 5 cigarettes in a pan and then feeding it to her kid for breakfast.
Yeah, I feel like vegans get a bad rep because of a certain it's almost kind of with politics, right? With the intense group on the left and the right, there's an intense group of vegans that kind of give the rest of the group a little bad rep,
For sure.
What caused you to choose to be vegan, and what was that transition like?
Well, first of all, I feel like there's people, there's bad people in every group of every community that's just going to make everybody else look bad. And, that sucks. So that really sucks for the vegans that are not saying 5 cigarettes is equal to an egg. And there's these other crazy ones that are ruining it for the rest of the group. I went vegan definitely for ethical reasons. There's this guy named Gary Yukavetsky or whatever, and he just really comes at you with insane factual and very scientific based facts. They're not saying just these outlandish claims that make you roll your eyes and you're like, okay, I'm gonna click off. Yeah, I mean, there's things that are just you cannot ignore. And the meat industry and the dairy industry, you cannot ignore how unethical it is. It's terrible. And I'm a hypocrite for saying this now because I'm not vegan right now.
That's okay. You were saying you don't eat like chickens and cows anymore, right?
Yeah, ethically, I just feel like that was my main driver. It's like it's really, really terrible what goes on. I mean, have you seen those trucks with all those chickens in there?
Yeah.
It's just things like that. I don't know.
No, it's weird how we can take something like a dog, right, and treat it so nice, and then we have these other animals that are just as important to us, and we treat them terribly, terribly.
And that's my favorite thing that this guy Gary says. He says if we didn't have like ants or bees, if ants went extinct and bees went extinct, the whole ecosystem would collapse.
Ooh.
But if all humans went extinct, it would literally benefit every single other thing on this earth.
We're definitely the only animals with egos, right, that think we deserve everything we take.
Well, for sure.
Not cool, humans. What are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, I don't know. We hit a point where we didn't think we were going to be able to feed enough people, right? And then we started, just mass producing food in this unethical way. And we got to live a more sustainable life, but we got to reverse a lot of decisions we've made over the past 100 years, I think. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about fitness, right? So you started getting very diet focused at a young age. And then at what point did you really kind of focus on like your workouts, and when did that become a top priority? Because I know now you're posting all sorts of like workout plans and things like that you're, interested in.
So after I got out of that toxic, and I was like lucky enough to get out of that, I feel like a lot of girls struggle in that mindset that I had in middle school for a long time, and a lot of them for their whole lives. And that's really sad. I have to sympathize with that.
Was there something that kind of helped you get out of that mindset?
I think it's honestly just doing your own research. I feel like it's not blindly following these Victoria's Secret models, not saying they're all bad, but I know that it's like very easy to become obsessive with a certain look, especially now when social media is just so detrimental to young minds.
I was going to say, this was for you all before like Instagram really was big.
Oh, yeah.
You were just kind of coming to this conclusion on your own, where nowadays these girls are just bombarded with these photos, and they're all edited too, and they're not even real girls on the internet that are editing their waist in, and then 13-year-old girls come along and they get obsessed with these body images that are not even real images. That's gotta be rough.
I actually couldn't imagine. I mean, I look at some of these girls on Instagram even now. It's just like, how? It's like, and then you feel like when you're working out, it's like, what are you working towards? For some, it's motivating. And then for others, it's so degrading because you're like, am I ever going to achieve looking like that? Like, what is the point of what I'm doing right now? I'm thankful I'm not in that space, but I can totally see why. You would feel helpless. I mean, looking at all of these Instagram, it's everywhere.
I mean, hopefully these young girls are just like getting their hands on the editing apps too, and they just understand that these models are kind of cheating. Maybe that helps them understand that, I can never obtain this image, that I see on Instagram.
We're just following other people that don't make you feel like that. I genuinely love following fitness people and girls and guys, whatever. But I love girls and their confidence, and I love that about
it's kind of hard to strike a balance and be like a fitness dude on the internet and not come across a little douchey sometimes.
That's why I don't follow any.
Like a bunch of shirtless pictures or something, and you're just kind of like, okay, like, great.
Yeah, but then when I see a girl doing it, I'm like, that's hot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you pull off that the right way.
I mean, it's preference also. I feel like if you prefer to follow that, you're probably like that. And like that's a whole community on itself. It's just very preference based.
But I like how you post a lot of like food and stuff too. And you try to keep it kind of factual. And a lot of the fitness accounts can get kind of self-absorbed, I think, like ego-y, and it's not easy for someone else who's looking on to that, right? To like absorb that information through like all their ego and actually get a positive benefit from their accounts. Yeah,
I definitely feel, again, it's preference, and you like feel free to post whatever you want type of thing. And if you don't like it, I mean, I said this earlier too, just unfollow it. Like there's people that have messaged me and they're like, I'm posting my workouts or whatever, and they're like, you're creating a toxic environment by posting your workouts and making other people feel as if they need to be doing what you're doing. It's really so simple to not look at what I'm doing if that's how it affects you. So as far as that goes, be mature enough and responsible enough to remove it from your life if you don't like it. Yeah, I think you got to take it as like, okay, here's an example of something I could do. And everyone's got to know that, especially with diets and workout plans, really it's not a one size fit all. And just because this girl is doing all these workouts doesn't mean that
you could just need to shut down and be like, I can't do that. You know, I might see something that you do on the internet and pick one of your 10 workouts and be like, I want to try that one in the gym. And I adapt that into my workout plan. But I don't just sit down and be like, okay, let me do exactly what she did, because we're not the same person. We're not living the same lifestyle. And you got to be able to either get some motivation out of it or pick and choose like the content that you're going to try to apply to your life. But no one should be following anyone trying to apply all of that to their lifestyle, you know?
Oh, of course. And there's also so much information out there. It's like, how can you possibly... You know, I feel like my diet has just always been altered over the years, and that's why I just stick with the facts that have been proven and proven time and time again.
I was thinking about that when you were talking about, you did more research, and I was thinking that, well, there's so much like controversial information on the internet that sometimes you might do a lot of research and it might send you in the wrong direction. So what kind of things have you actually experienced in your own life? Like, this workout plan, I saw a lot of results, or this diet, you know, what kind of things have you maybe done research on, but then really seen that take shape in your life?
When I was doing veganism correctly, because like there was a point where it did become unhealthy because I didn't have access. That's when I went abroad, and I was telling you earlier, I went to Prague, and then it just wasn't a lifestyle I could, you know, upheld. You know, it just got unhealthy in the sense I couldn't give myself all the nutrients I needed. But it's so hard to apply certain things to your life when you research them, because I'll Google one thing and I'll, you know, go in the dark hole of what that has to offer. And then the next link you click, it's completely contradicting the 3 hours that you just read about something. But veganism did work the best for me before it got unhealthy. So I did feel my best. I was the most energized by far. You have to be very vigilant, but I never felt tired. Yeah, for me personally, it was veganism. There was this one day I remember getting out of my car and I was going to the grocery store, and I like got out of my car and I was like, I feel ridiculously good, just amazing. And I don't know what it was. You're eating intuitively. If you're hungry, you're hungry. Eat. I tried that intermittent fasting for a while.
I was thinking about trying that, and my girlfriend was like, don't do it. And maybe I should talk to someone like you. Did it not go well?
For me personally, no. There's so many amazing, you know, scientific facts about fasting and how it's helped people cure their cancer or whatnot. Everything varies person to person. That's why I have a hard time even promoting anything on my fitness page, because it's like, if this works for me, it works for me. I am definitely not saying it's going to work for you.
I think with the intermittent fasting, this is just like an assumption. People say it works for them. I wonder if those are the type of people that don't work out much. And you're saying like, when you're hungry, eat, right? And you're the person that works out a lot. I feel like for someone who's working out a lot, the intermittent fasting is not going to be like a good option for them, because their body needs to like start rebuilding all the muscles. Or like maybe someone who just works a lot, because I have heard people say the intermittent fasting does give them that kind of clear energy for some reason, which I don't know. I don't know if for someone who works out all the time, if that's going to be a good solution for them.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I've done that where it's like, I won't eat till 12, not, you know, I'm not like, I'm not going to eat till 12. But there is a mental clarity that's been there with an intermittent fasting type diet. And I've felt that, and I've understood that, you know, through experience. So I've definitely see where the mental clarity comes from. But some mornings I wake up and I'm hungry at 8 a.m. and I'm gonna eat. Like, I'm not gonna be like, but I need to wait till 12 and then be hungry and angry the entire day until then, you know.
So maybe just listening to your body then, right? Like maybe trying certain diet routines, but then at the end of the day, listening to your body, and if it needs something, not want something, right? If it, like, I want cake every day, but if it's like, dude, we're not going to have the energy unless you give us, you know, some sort of nutrients, you know, at 8 a.m., then listen.
And that's such a fine line, because it's like, okay, I do want to eat Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
5 hours out of the day.
I do want a couple beers right now. So, you know,
or like,
I might as well listen to my body and have some beer.
There's such a fine line between, I don't really know how you can tell the difference at sometimes, because sometimes I'm like, if I don't eat at 8 a.m., will I feel that mental clarity, get that natural energy, or whatever they say that you get from fasting? Trying different things for sure, not being closed-minded also. People
That's
are
a good point.
so closed-minded. I feel like veganism just pisses people off. I feel like just because it just pisses people off.
Try maybe a couple diet plans out, right? And then whatever works best for you and your body and your lifestyle. Like I was saying, there's some people that never work out, and their whole diet plan's got to be way different than someone who's, you know, lifting 5 days a week.
Oh, 100%. It's definitely knowing what... I'm just so surprised sometimes that people don't research this type of stuff and they're kind of like floundering, which not saying that's a bad thing. I still am floundering around. But it's like, this is an investment in yourself. Why wouldn't you want to feel your best? Why wouldn't you want clear skin if you want it? Stuff like that.
I don't know if I'm ever going to be vegan, but I like kind of maybe moving towards that lifestyle someday, because I definitely experience the highs and lows of energies. Like, I'll have a Red Bull and then I'll crash, and
Well, that's not good.
I know, but I feel
clearly
but then
you're crashing if you're having a Red Bull.
then I drink another one and then I can't sleep, and now my sleep schedule's messed up.
I feel like also getting into a healthy lifestyle that works for you, it's not all this working out and diet. I mean, diet I think is huge, bigger than working out. The most simple rules of life, just getting a good night's sleep, being active and not a couch potato or whatever all day. It's like, you don't have to work out every day to be fit and healthy.
No.
You really don't.
Yeah, sleeping is one I struggled with the most, and that's probably the most important one, right? I mean,
well, you should read the book by Matthew Walker. It's called Why We Sleep, and he was on Joe Rogan's podcast. Oh my God. You will never want to get less than 8 hours of sleep like ever again.
What are some main points?
It's like insane. It's such an overwhelming amount of information, actually, and really at the end of it, I wasn't even really listening. I was just thinking about how I really don't get 8 hours of sleep, and I don't remember the last time I did. But just about cognitively, how you decline so much faster. I mean, it affects every area of your life. But then there was this guy that my dad was telling me about that got 4 hours of sleep a night, and he was totally functional, healthy, normal. Again, I feel like it's just like everybody varies.
Yeah, everyone varies, but I guess there's probably a bunch of data, and majority of people probably fall into a category where they need 8 hours of sleep, right? You're gonna have like outsiders, outliers. There you go. Personally, dude, I'd probably get 6 hours on average, and then I don't know, man. There's a bunch of times I just pull all-nighters and shit and code on my app all night long, and that's probably terrible for me. That's probably the shit that you need to stop doing, or I need to stop doing.
Yeah, not me.
People in general should not do.
I feel like there's a really unhealthy stigma with like success. It's like there's these people on the stage and they're like, I didn't sleep for 5 months straight. I didn't go out with my friends once, and like all of these things. And I feel like a lot of that's great, but at the same time, it's like there is a baseline to health. Like you can't just ignore.
No, there's definitely this successful like delusion that I get when I pull an all-nighter, where I'm like, oh, I'm going to be successful, and then you get like sleepy and delusional, and you're like, yeah, no one else works as hard as me. And then you just kind of get in your head that like you're doing something good for yourself, but maybe I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I need to be more patient and work less hours every week and sleep more, and I can withstand how hard I'm working for a longer period of time,
Well, it's also when you're passionate about something, it's really hard to put it down. Especially because there's like a sense of urgency, I feel like, that you want to get it done because you know what like direction you want to go in. You know it's very clear to you and you know what you need to do. So I get the sense of urgency and, and the impatience. Especially
when you start working full time, right? Like I was passionate about this in college, and I could just work on it kind of throughout the day and here and there. And then all of a sudden I started working from like 10 to 7. So every day I get home at 7, work out or something. Now I'm starting like to work on my app at like 11 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, once I've done all the other adult shit I need to do.
Yeah,
and then that's when I start pushing into like late night work, and then I don't sleep much. It's got to be terrible for me.
See, then I don't know what people do with that. If you have to work and then you need to do something on the side that you want to build, there's a lot of people that aren't given money. So it's like, what do you do?
I don't know, dude. You suffer. Like my mindset was always like, okay, I'll do this for like a year or two until my company is running, and then I'll be able to quit my job and go to my company. But that didn't happen as fast as I want it to happen. So then it's like, well, now this is not a sustainable life. Maybe it's going to take me 5 or 6 years to get my company up and off the ground. I can't live like this for that long. Starting a company is not easy. That's kind of like, it's one of the hardest things you can try to go do in life. So I guess not everyone's cut out for it, and
no way.
Not a lot of people make it,
I mean, at that point, you have to pick and choose what you want to sacrifice. I mean, if that's worth it to you, then no one can judge you for that, because at least you're aware of what you're sacrificing. Even something as, I mean, it's huge, but small, like sleep.
Yeah. You know how like in college they have like the triangle? It's sleep, social life, good grades, pick two, I feel like for me, especially in like the adult world, it was like career, side hustle, sleep, pick two, where it's like you can't have a career and a side hustle and get enough sleep.
No, you can't. Well, this is why it's such a good time to get yourself involved.
Yeah. Quarantine's been good.
Just get yourself involved, or just find what you're passionate about for sure. Try some new stuff out.
Definitely.
It's a good time for that. And at first I was so stressed because I was like, okay, now I have all of this time. I need to do this, this, and this, and this. And there's also a time to breathe.
So what have your goals been then for this time, and what have you accomplished?
I stress about my future a lot. It's not like it's an everyday, like I'm a workaholic stress type of thing. It's more so like time is passing and what am I doing with my life type of thing, and like where do I want to go, how do I get started, that type. So I've been really taking the time to just chill, literally just I need to calm down. It's not, I'm 22 years old, I have a lot of time in front of me, and just coping with it. I mean, not coping, it's not like I'm going through something, you know, just figuring out how to better react when I think about my future and plan. I mean, I procrastinate. It's so weird because it's like I have all this onboarding stuff, even for my job right now. And I procrastinate to do all of it because as soon as I'm confronting it, it stresses me out that I'm about to start work. So it's like I'll procrastinate starting something for my future because as soon as I start it, I don't know how to explain it. It's like...
No, I understand.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, I'll do this tomorrow. Like if I wanted, say, start a podcast. It's like... well, you need to figure out what you want to talk about, how you want to set it up, a logo, a brand, everything. And then I'll be like, you know what? I'll just do something like tomorrow, because it's as soon as I face it, I'm like, oh my God. I don't know how to explain. Does that make sense a little?
No, I feel you. So I had like a pile of mail that was like 300 pieces of mail long, right? And I kept putting it off, dude, because I'm like, there's always bad news in the mail, dude. There's always bad news in the mail. And then if I start going through my mail, then it's going to send me down a rabbit hole of like 100 other things I have to do. And I just kept putting that off. I'd clean the whole house. I'd do all the other shit before I went through this stack of mail. And eventually I did it during quarantine. But it is like very stressful to get started on something that you know is going to send you down.
It's going to consume you,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then you're going to be stressed about, there's going to be new stressors involved.
So were you able just to take the time to take a step back and just do some more like physical activities that took your mind off of stuff instead of just like sitting around and stressing about things? Or were you able to be like proactively tackling things that you've been putting off for a while?
Yeah, so I would do that. Well, I'm trying to start. And it's so weird when you think that you can just snap out of this mindset that you have. Like, I think like, oh, you know what? Tomorrow I'll take care of it. I'll stop being this procrastinator tomorrow. It's a habitual thing. Like getting rid of habits like that and mindsets like that are actually so much work and harder than they seem. So it's working on that and with just everyday things, my onboarding stuff. When I get an email from my job, open it. I like start it and then I'll never open it.
Yeah, opening emails is scary.
Because I'm like, I'll open it, you know, next week, whatever. So now I'm opening my emails when they come in, when I see them.
Yeah, so that kind of work is called admin, life admin. I read this book about it where there's 4 different types of people with it. Someone who's extraordinary on their admin stuff, always on it, right? And then it slips into like the person who is aware of it, but they don't really care about it. And then like the last one was denial. Someone who's like, I don't even need to check emails. That was me with my mail. I don't need to check mail. And sometimes you're different categories for different situations, right? So if it might be cleaning the house, you're like fucking crazy about that. And you're like, I clean the floor as soon as there's a piece of dirt on it. But when it comes to opening my emails, like I don't even think I need to look at those. Then no, I don't get important emails. Meanwhile, your new job is like, yo, what's up? You gotta sign up for all of our new software systems.
It was like, I got parking tickets in the mail 5 months ago. I knew exactly what they were. Set them on my dresser. I was like, you know, I'll pay this tomorrow. And then you forget because you don't want to pay something, clearly. And I waited so long that it went from $50 tickets to $100 tickets, and I had 2 of them. And now my parents are pissed. They're like, now it's ruining their credit. You know, I know how detrimental being a procrastinator is, but I still just getting out of that mindset and just doing something proactively for some reason is so hard for me. I don't know what it is.
No, me too. I'm the same way. I think maybe then quarantine's a good time for everyone to move up on that scale a little bit. And if you're in denial, then now you're starting to worry about it. If you're worried about it, but you never take action, now you're going to take action on shit.
And it saves me a lot of stress when I am proactive. I mean, it saves me so much stress, so much time. I feel so much more in control. And it's weird because it's like, if I know that, why can't I just, you know, consistently act on that behavior? I don't know. It's really weird.
I'm bad with it too, so I don't have the answers for sure.
No, I don't. But I'm trying to get better. That's what I've been using my time for sure.
Good. Okay, let's talk about workouts a little bit because there's some things I really like about your Instagram I wanted to talk about. So I have this fitness app, right? And the whole app sits on this idea that tracking your workouts is going to help you in the gym. It's going to help you make improvements because a lot of people, they don't want to walk around with that notebook in the gym, right?
Yeah.
And so this app is kind of like a glorified little notepad for you to enter in your workout plans or your workouts. And eventually I want to move to the point where we put sensors and equipment and all that stuff is tracked automatically, right? It's like a pain to go, track your shit. So if you have like a cool pair of dumbbells or something, you just work out and then you look at your phone, it's all there. That's kind of like the end goal of what we're doing. But all of that is based on the assumption that...
Did you patent that?
So when it comes to hardware, you have to patent the specific way that you build something. So I can't patent an idea like that.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's a good question. That's a really good question.
Put this out and people know, are you ever worried that...
No, I'm not really worried. So my whole thing was that I just really want this kind of smart gym I keep talking about to exist. I want to put these ideas out there. I want people to help me build something cool, right? And for us, our main thing is like the software, right? So we already have an app. I think our app is very unique. Some people might not agree, but it's very gamified. So it gives you points and challenges and medals and things like that. And then if I have to, if I have to do it myself, I will build fucking hardware that shoots all that data back to me, right?
Yeah.
But there's also things like your iWatch that you can it can give you heart rate back to the app, right? We can tap into that. So if I talk about some cool like dumbbells, someone else could go invent that and then I could just sync it up with my app, right? I don't have to actually build every piece of the puzzle.
Oh.
So I don't really get worried about like putting an idea out there and having someone take it. I would be excited if other people want to help out and make a dumbbell that connects up to my app. That'd be cool. Then I won't have to make it.
I mean, it's just such a good idea. I feel, especially because I feel like sometimes I'll like go off for an hour just like working out, but then I'll be like, what the hell did I just do for the last hour? Like, was that even a good workout? Like, what did I work? Did I do legs or arms?
Even with my app right now, if you went and plugged it all in, that would take your head out of the space that you were in. You were in some good mind space where you just worked out a bunch. Yeah. And then I want to go reflect on it later.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know if it'll be like sensors in the dumbbells or maybe just video recognition. You just get a bunch of cameras out. Yeah. I think like the Tesla cars, they can drive themselves just based on camera video recognition. Yeah. So, I don't know exactly how it's going to be done, but I just know that eventually someone's going to figure it out. No way that we're just going to be using literally dumbbells. We'll use smart bells or some shit in the future where it's all tracked, right? It's called Internet of Things. That's the technology, right? We have internet in our phones now. We have it in our watches. Soon, smart houses are going to be the next big thing. I think a lot of people can already turn their AC on and off from their phone.
I mean, there's so many things you can do on your phone.
Then I think fitness is going to be a next big industry to put the Internet of Things into it. It could be like the clothes we wear in the gym or something, but...
That's so interesting. I've never heard anything like that.
So that's kind of the basis of my whole company, right? That's kind of where I want to head in the future. So I know that at least you track your workouts on your Instagram page, right? So do you see benefits when you track your progress over time?
I'm not a progress tracker type of person usually, but lately I've been doing it just to know I'll reflect on a week. I'm like, was I working out? Because there's times where it's like I do want to build, say, my legs and my glutes, and I do want to build my arms, but I'm not doing bodybuilder-esque things, where they're like very regimented and this is what I eat, this is my diet, and this is what I'm going to work today. I'm going to do tries today and buys tomorrow. So I'm trying to get a little bit better at that. I've never been focused on like building a specific area or shrinking another type of thing. It's staying in shape. So I'll do a lot of things very sporadically and randomly. But then sometimes I just feel like if you're not doing the correct things, you're not going to see a result. You know what I'm saying? Like you could do yoga every day. That doesn't mean that you're going to tone this one area just because you're doing yoga every day. You have to make sure you're doing proper workouts and having a proper diet to back it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then you're walking the fine line. If you're tracking everything you eat, then you become toxic. Well,
that's why I want things to track automatically, because I feel like it would be less toxic. I feel like taking all the time to write it all down is like kind of aggressive. And if you could just reflect on it when you want to, then maybe you could once a week reflect on your diet and take an hour to really reflect on it if you're tracking everything you eat for a whole week, then you're constantly worrying about it and stressing about it and getting anxiety about it, like we were saying. So I do think hopefully with technology that'll kind of take some of that anxiety away from the whole process of keeping track of your diet. And then when you want to spend the time to worry about it, all that information's there.
Yeah, definitely.
I think with the workouts, I really got into tracking my workouts because I was always trying to gain strength. And like you were saying, I guess for you, you're not too focused on like, let me get big biceps, or something like that. So it doesn't matter as much for you, because for me, I need to be going up in weight every week, or not in the right way, right? So, there might be a certain weight I need to hit for 8 reps and then 5 reps and then 3 reps in order to get my 1 rep max to where I want it to be. So I guess for you, you mostly focus on cardio and lifting, not to get stronger necessarily.
Well, I hate cardio. I probably should do some sort of cardio. I think HIIT can be my cardio. I'm not really sure.
What is HIIT?
So high intensity interval training.
Okay, so that's just like circuit training and stuff like that?
Yeah, just keeping your heart rate up. So it is, I hate running.
Is that kind of like CrossFit?
CrossFit's a lot more weight based. Like,
okay. So HIIT,
doing deadlifts.
HIIT's more like ab crunches and shit like that?
Yeah, just a fast, like, on-pace workout. So you're doing your burpees for 30 seconds. You're going to transition to push-ups, and then you're going to transition to squats. I guess it's a type of cardio. But I'm trying to build muscle lately, so I don't know how to do that. I'm so much more focused on diet, and I always have been. And I'm like, I'll work out because I like how it makes me feel, and I enjoy it and whatnot. But now it's like, okay, if I really, truly want to grow my legs and my glutes.
If you want to get, like, bigger muscles, you want to be hitting like 8 reps or like 5 reps, kind of a lower count. And then if you want like lean shredded muscles, like 12 or 15 reps. But you also just want to be mixing it up, doing variations all the time. And then, for your bigger lifts, like a squat, you could do like 3 rep. With something like bicep curls, you're never going to want to do like a 3 rep max. That's kind of aggressive for your arms.
Personally, I'm not interested in growing,
big bicep.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to test that out. Sometimes I want to put the work in and I'm like, plan your workouts, be more efficient, like whatnot. And then other times I'm like, I don't care. I just want to have a good workout, feel good after.
Yeah. So something that's interesting for me too is that I always like just going into the gym and kind of freestyling it and like lifting whatever I want. And I don't know, maybe you and me are a little bit more knowledgeable in fitness, where for the average person, they're not. So when I put this app out, it didn't even have workout plans in there. It would just like be tracking each exercise, because I didn't even ever want to follow a workout plan. That wasn't really my thing. And then I got a huge amount of feedback. Like 80% of people that use the app were like, no, we want structured plans. Like we want to be told what to do. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So then I started building that into the app, where now you have a workout plan that you follow and things like that, because I got so much feedback. But I agree with you. I kind of like to just go in and hit what my body needs and not worry about it so much.
Yeah.
It kind of takes it away from for me, at least.
Sustaining how I am now and how I feel now and my strength now, I'd be totally fine with. But then other days I'm like, no, I want to be able to do 30 push-ups in a row. I don't know.
Yeah. So you seem like kind of stressed out and nervous about this whole podcasting thing. What do you think of it?
See, it's like as soon as you press record, I'm weird.
Say what you were just saying.
I can't help it.
You start thinking about one thing and then all of a sudden...
Just a lot of thoughts, I feel like. Because you ask a question and then I realize after rambling, I didn't even answer a question.
It's hard to stay on one like train of thought of mind. Yeah. Your mind just goes in 11 different directions.
Because it's like, when it comes to diet and fitness, it's been like such a passion of mine. All these ideas are flooding my head. So it's...
And now you have a mic in front of you and you're like, fuck, I forgot everything.
Because it's like,
I've been training for this my whole life.
It's like a time to express how I feel without having to write it down, And so it's like, I don't know, I think I'm stressing over what I'm sharing and then what I want to share. And then if I'm sharing too much, I don't know.
It's kind of overwhelming, right?
Yeah, see, this is where my anxious self.
I think you're worried about like what people are going to think of it afterwards or something, because you get all these comments and stuff on Instagram. And I think Instagram stresses everybody out, whether you're in fitness or not, just or Twitter, getting that feedback, and especially when it's negative feedback and you're just like, dude, I'm just being myself. Like I'm just trying. I'm excited about fitness. I'm just trying to put myself out there. Like, what is your whole perception of that, and how do you deal with it?
It's more so I worry about offending people. Picking and choosing what I'm saying is so difficult in that sense, because people are not going to like you or like what you have to say or what you feel a lot of the time.
Haters going to hate.
Yeah. And but I don't like that. But
I know.
At the same time, like, I need to shut up and...
But especially with a fitness account, though, your job is to motivate people and inspire people and push people. But you can't be worried about hurting people's feelings when if you take that into account, you're not going to push anybody who needs that extra push.
Yeah, I don't want to offend anybody in the sense of like, I don't want to come off a certain way that I truly don't feel like I am. It's like if you don't know me and I say something too aggressive, you're going to be like, oh my God, you know, she cares way too much about this. They don't know me, so I don't want that to be the first thing someone hears out of my mouth. Like that's what I'm nervous about.
Yeah, it's rough because you don't get to choose what post they jump in on or what stage of your fitness journey they're coming in through. Because there are some episodes where I'm like, this would be a very good, like, almost like commercial, this is what my podcast is about kind of episode. Let me show people. And then there's another one that comes on and then it's like, oh, I don't want people to see that one first. I want them to see the other one first. Yeah. Not that I don't want them to see the new one, but I want to dictate the order that people watch my show in, where it's like, I can't, you know, you can't have that control over the way people consume your content sometimes.
Yeah, that's so true. I didn't even think about that. Some people might just look at one post that I've set and then base their opinions off of that.
But then there's people that have been following you the whole time who like know you, or they have a better feel for you, and or they're friends with you in real life. Goddamn, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I'm not. It's not like a huge fitness, but you know what I'm saying. It's really small, and then there's some random people that will DM me, and it makes me feel so good that I'm actually having some sort of positive impact. And that's also where I get worried. Is like I don't want to have a negative impact on somebody in a toxic way.
It's good and bad, right? Because the same thing with my podcast. We're both at a level where we're not reaching that many people. So when I get a DM that says like your podcast really inspired me, it means so much to me. It's just like I don't, you know, maybe get one of those every episode. So it's like, wow, you know. But then if I got one where someone was like, that podcast episode sucked, dude, you're the worst, it'd be like, no, like that weighs so heavy on me too now. I only have 2 messages and one of them says I suck.
Who in the world is not going to have people that dislike or disagree? You know what I'm saying? It's so unrealistic. Like I'm a very positive person and I want to portray positivity and impact. You know what I'm saying? But I am not always positive. Like I would say collectively I'm a positive person, but it's like sometimes I am mean and harsh and aggressive.
Yeah, you're trying to be your true self, right? All angles, all levels, all emotions, right?
Yeah.
And if you're having a bad day, you don't want to put on the cute outfit and kind of act like everything's all good.
Yeah. But then I don't want to be that person giving off negativity and bad energy that no one wants, you know, bad energy.
But I do look to people's Instagrams and stuff for like maybe inspiration on features I could put in. And when it came to you and your workouts, I like the way you formatted them. So for instance, it would be like 6 different videos of 6 different workouts that you do, but then you would put them all on one story page, right?
Yeah.
And I really like the way that, for instance, if someone's like looking through workouts in my app, they could just pull up one page and maybe see all 6 of the things all kind of formatted out the way you had them. I thought that was pretty cool. How'd you make that, first of all?
So I'm actually kind of, if I do say so myself, kind of proud of myself for that one. It's efficient. No one has time to look at anything anymore. You know, like everybody has really short, what's it called?
Attention span.
There it is. Yeah, short attention span. So I was like, I need to just like put one thing out there. It's 6 seconds and you have 6 different moves. But on Visco. Oh, you did that on Visco? Yeah, they have like this media thing and you can add, I think 5. You have like up to 5 selections, which also helps me narrow down. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to do this and this. I'm like, no, do these 5 moves. They get the job done. So imagine if you're like swiping through workouts in my app. If you had to swipe through each exercise, then by exercise 6, you're like, wait, what was the first one again? And exactly. It doesn't really, you can't really absorb like a workout program all at once. And that's kind of the reason I didn't like the whole workout programs in the app. Because right now you swipe through them all separately. And I just like the whole way you have them formatted. So if you like a program, you can just see, yep, I like that. Move on, or I don't, move on to the next one, you know? Also, I'm not gonna lie, when I see like girls, they'll do the swiping, they'll do like 10 video exercises and I'll write them down and I'll be like, okay, I'll do this workout. And then it gets to like an exercise I just despise. I'm not gonna do it, which is not good, but whatever. Like it used to be push-ups. I would not incorporate push-ups in my workout because I hated them. Push-ups are good for you. I know. I'm getting there. I like push-ups. Okay. Good. More. But not, I like burpees. No one likes to do burpees. Like there's I'll still do them and whatever. Like that's the pro of following other people's workouts is. Yo, don't offend all the burpees lovers out there. Yeah, I know. I'm kidding. I'm giving you a hard time. You can't not offend anybody, right? There's gonna be someone. Okay, if someone's offended by burpees,
Get over it, okay? That's the thing. We're going to stick to that one thing this episode. If you like burpees, just stop listening to the podcast. No, I'm kidding.
Are you looking at it? Anyway, sorry. But what was I saying? Oh, so yeah, but if I saw that on one page, I'd be like, not the workout for me. I'll do something else. So it saves that type of time. So it's like when you can see it in just one format, if you see like a couple exercises on there, say your back is hurting and they're very back oriented, I don't know, you'll be like, oh, this one's not for me. I'll do something else instead of swiping through them all.
I want to have a little feature where if you put some workouts out, along with videos or pictures would be like graphs and like cool ways of displaying your data. Then I want to be able to like hit a button and like boop, post that to Instagram or something. So do you think that I should target Instagram posts or Instagram stories, or now there's Reels? I kind of wanted to set something up where you could post to Instagram. It would have like a little chart or graph and then you swipe and then it'd be like a video of you or something like that. Or do you think that I should focus on stories? Do you think people don't want to post their workouts on a post anymore? They want to do a story?
I personally wouldn't look at that on posts. I think story, I don't know though, because then stories is so temporary.
But you can attach them all to your page now, maybe.
Yeah, so maybe like a highlight situation going on with Instagram. Maybe that's where
you'd have a Drive Fitness highlight thing.
Yeah.
They could post out to their story and it could be formatted that way you're doing it.
I think that would be good. For sure, because I also don't think people would want to just post solely that on their Instagram page.
Because I also have like little animations in the app that'll do like a 3D character doing like a bicep curl or something. Oh. So also if you're not comfortable with your body, you could post out your workout as in like 6 little animated dudes, doing their thing for people who just, and that's more like educational too. It's more like look at the form and
for sure. That's really interesting actually.
So I don't know. I could give people the option. Do you have any like pet peeves about fitness or about people like the way they post on social media?
Oh, you want to know a pet peeve? There's like this girl that I'm solely thinking of, but she just posts all of these random things and is like, oh, I take like 3 magnesium at night because it's really helpful for my anxiety. It's like a godsend. The next day, oh, I take papaya extract and whatever because it's really good for my gut and, cured my IBS. It's just so all over the place, like telling people to take so many different supplements and vitamins and stuff like that, where it's like that can be so harmful. You know what I'm saying?
It's like they're just promoting everything without actually trying to live like a balanced lifestyle with it.
You can't take too much magnesium. It's literally a metal that can be very toxic if you already have high magnesium. And she doesn't ever say like consult with your doctor or physician or whatever.
Please consult with your influencer of choice.
Well, no, definitely don't do that. That's why it's like I want to say things that have helped me, and I do take a lot of vitamins, but then it's like, this could be harmful to someone else, Can we give a disclaimer? This is something that only works for Alex. She's not recommending this, but I'm curious, Alex, for you, what kind of vitamins work for you? Also, I asked my doctor because so many people were like, have you even consulted your doctor? Actually, yeah, I have, because if I'm going to tell you to consult your doctor, I'd be a humongous hypocrite. Also, it's like you want to know how things affect your body. I also totally recommend people getting blood work, knowing where their levels are for, protein, vitamins, whatever. But in the morning, I do L-theanine. So it's just, a natural amino acid extracted from tea leaf, 200 milligrams with your coffee or with whatever. It's just an amino acid that promotes calmness and whatnot. It's what's in matcha and green tea that doesn't give it the jittery effect. That's why matcha is like, it has other benefits, but matcha doesn't have that caffeine crash that coffee will give you, like a Red Bull you were saying you were drinking. If you're going to drink a Red Bull, you should take some L-theanine on the side.
Got it. I'll write that down.
After you consult your doctor. Then I take...
My doctor would tell me not to take Red Bull, by the way, but...
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Next thing?
Next thing. Ashwagandha.
Ooh, what's that?
So ashwagandha, it's just a good mood type of thing. Like you're just calm. It's really good for stress. So if you're really stressful, and it has some sleepy effects, I guess, so taking a high dosage in the morning isn't a great idea. But then I take magnesium at night. Vitamin C, only the time-release pills is how you best absorb vitamin C. People are doing these emergency packets and a bunch of airborne gummies. That's like excreted through your pee. You really don't absorb that much. And according to the Skinny Confidential doctor, he says that when you're taking like all of these vitamin C supplements, it actually suppresses your immune system for 4 to 6 hours after. But he just said time release vitamin C is how it's best absorbed.
What motivates you? What drives you? What kind of inspires you the most in life?
I've always had this thing since I was little, just being obsessed with reaching like my full potential. It's like, what am I capable of? How can I get there type of thing? Other people too. I want to help other people reach their full potential. I've always thought, I don't know why that subject is so interesting to me, but I feel like when you go through school and stuff, it bases your worth a lot of the time off of your grades, or even in social life, how many friends you have bases your worth, in that sphere. You don't know where you're the most capable, and you don't know where you're the most effective almost and happy. That's why I love just doing a lot of research in food and fitness and whatnot. I feel like your body, treating your body right does so many things for your mind. I feel like that's what motivates me, is definitely just keeping healthy and positive. And I feel like mindset is like everything. I don't know. I feel like negative people and closed-minded people, it's really unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that, right, that philosophy of being the best person you can be, reaching your full potential, is a good way to kind of have the ability to not focus on other people. I want to be like him, I want to be like her, or I want to be smarter than my classmates, right? There's only so strong I could get, right? I'm not going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I want to be the strongest I can be,
Exactly.
I want to be the most successful I can get, and that kind of keeps you grounded in like realistic goals. So you're not, you aren't looking at these models and getting upset with your body image.
Because also, I used to be so upset like off of things like I'm not a curvy person. I'm very like athletic build, straight. And I would be so upset over that. But it's like, that's your body type. Do with what you can.
What do you think could be like a cool futuristic technology for fitness? When you imagine working out 30 years from now, what do you think that experience is like?
Okay, if I'm going to be honest with you, I love everything what you're doing. It's making it easier for the individual to track, and it's more efficient and effective. But honestly, technology really scares me. Like, I like to keep things simple in the sense of, I don't know, I always just think of screens. So it's like when you were saying the dumbbell thing, I've never thought of that. I would have never thought like that's also technology. But I always think of screens for some reason.
As like negative.
As negative.
Yeah. No, me too. That's why I want the experience to be like away from screens. You can go just work out the way you normally work out, and then maybe go reflect on it on a screen with all those data points later. But yeah, I don't like the idea of screens getting in your way, like looking at an app in between sets and stuff. Actually is not my ideal situation in the gym either. I don't like this whole era of screens. I think we're moving past that in the future, where it's going to be more integrated in a way that doesn't like, screens are distracting, You'll look at your phone because you got a new text message, and next thing you know, you're on Snapchat for 3 hours, and you're like, what the hell did I just do? And I kind of want to jump in and out of text messages and things in like an augmented view that won't pull me away from whatever I'm doing.
That's actually so interesting, because I am not technology driven, like at all. If anything, it scares me like a lot.
No, it scares me too. In fact, yeah, the more I learn about it, the scarier it gets, right? But I mean, that's a fine answer, that you want to keep things simple in the gym. You don't want to jump into a pool of technology when you're working out.
Well, because that's the one thing I look forward to with working out. It's the
break.
It's the break from the work on the computer.
Do you have any final remarks or ideas that you want to share before we close up?
Yeah, I just think everybody should focus on investing in their mental well-being and their physical health, and that will help you reach, your fullest potential. And it's the most important thing in life, and don't skimp on it.
Don't skimp on it, guys. I love it.
Yeah.
Beautifully put. Okay.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Thanks for coming on, Alex. You're great. You killed it. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Just a quick reminder, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, follow on Spotify, and support us on Patreon. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.